Hey, what's up guys? American Mexican Gunslinger here. Today I got a funny, dumb video, yeah, I'm wearing glasses. I have to get prescription glasses. That's the only new thing that happened. But anyways, today I'm going to talk about my first gun I've ever bought. Like the first gun. This is actually my first AR-15 build. I will talk about it. And I will probably post up some pictures on my next video about it, but we're not talking about this guy. We're actually going to talk about the first rifle I bought when I turned 18. Well, a little background when I turned 18. I actually, before I turned 18, I was 17, you know, and I got locked up in juvenile hall for being an idiot, you know. Possession of knife on school grounds, you know, threats. I was a very dumb child, teenager growing up. You know, I hung out with the wrong crowd, drinking alcohol, doing all these dumb things. But once I got out of juvenile hall, I expunged my record. So they deleted my whole entire record and I became a clean person. Very clean, very no crimes in my background and everything, so I ended up, you know, having a clean record at that point. But the first rifle I bought, and you guys probably heard of it, but it's called the Mossberg 715T, or tactical. Guys, that gun was a piece of, oh man, that gun was horrible. And at that point, Miss Gunslinger was pregnant with my son. And at the time, I was working at Big Five, guys. I was working at Big Five, working the shoe department. Yeah, I wasn't working with firearms, but I did get put in that position for a while, because you know not a lot of employees knew about firearms. Only very few, but they would put me there and be like, oh, do you know how about firearms? Do you know how to sell? And then I would have to hold the ammunition and put it behind the counter for the customer and wait for the cashier to register them out. I didn't just sell it and give it to them because I couldn't do that. But anyways, this was the only gun I bought behind Miss Gunslinger's back. The only single one. Ever since then, I would always ask for permission and be like, look, I'm going to buy this gun. Yeah, some guys would be like, no, you don't have to ask permission. But trust me, this time I had to, because that 22 was a piece of garbage. And the magazines were hard to find. It looked cool. It looked like an AR-15. But it was just literally a 22 within a shell of an AR-15 chassis. Oh my god. I paid $369 for this gun, guys. And I went to go shoot it. The first time I went to go shoot it, malfunction. And after that, malfunction. It was brand stinking new, so I didn't know what the heck was going on until I put some CCI mini mags in it, and it was running great. And I'm just like, man, I can't even shoot regular bulk ammo through this thing. Like, what the heck? Miss Gunslinger was so mad. She goes, why didn't you just buy a Ruger 1022? Why didn't you just buy a Mossberg 500 or a Maverick 88? Because at the time, I was working part-time at Big Five. I didn't have enough cash. I didn't have a lot of cash with me. And I was living in my mom's room, guys. Literally, Miss Gunslinger moved in with me in my mom's room. You know what I'm saying? In one of my mom's rooms. But anyways, yeah, we were dumb when we were young, man. We were dumb, man. We were idiots. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you're young, you make some pretty dumb decisions, you guys. And that one was the worst decision I've ever made. Like, guys, like, I've had that rifle for a while, you know, and I ended up selling it. And guys, I sold it for 85 bucks. Like, that's how much of a piece of crap it was. But the guy that was looking for a gun, you know, it was his first rifle he was looking for, and he's like, dude, I only have 120 bucks, and we went to the gun store to go do the background check, and it was 30 bucks on top of that. So he's like, dude, I don't have enough money to buy it, and it was gonna be like a little bit more money, you know. And I'm like, no problem, dude. To like, in order for me to sell it to you, but all right, I'll lower it down to 85 bucks plus the background check, so it was like 125 bucks because they only had 130. So we did the transaction and deal, man, and I told him, I'm like, man, like this gun's like, I don't like it, man. I just want to get rid of it. Be like, if you can find magazines for it, that's cool. But it wasn't that much of a great gun. I mean, it's a good plinker for a first-time shooter or buyer, but it was my mistake because that was like my first home defense gun, you know. A lot of things were popping off where I lived in Selma, California, where I used to live. The crime was crazy, man. Shootouts were crazy, and it was just a bunch of gang violence over there and drug violence, and it was really dangerous at the time where I was living at, and that was my first mistake. I bought the most unreliable freaking rifle you can think of, and it was a 22. And man, this Mossberg 715, I tried to trick it out. I did my own little spray paint on it. I put my own little touches on it. I bought a little cheap little scopes, like not like this cheap, but probably cheaper than this, honestly, cheaper than this. Put my own little Amazon foregrip on there, you know. And on top of that, I couldn't even change the stock, you guys, because it was a commercial stock. You have to live with what you had, you know. And I kind of like bought these little modified little mounts that I put these little cheap $10 light on it, you know. Like, ah, man, oh my gosh, the things we do when we were young, man. It was just incredibly dumb, but I learned my lesson, you guys, and it's crazy because I literally ended up buying a scope for it, a little bipod for it, and I was trying to shoot long range. Like you shoot, and I'm like, oh man, I got it. Because it had a charging handle, oh my gosh. Even talking about it just brings me back like horrible memories about it, and I just did not like that rifle, you guys. So, note to self, if you're going to go buy a gun behind your wife's back, make sure it's a reliable gun. Make sure it's not a Jam-O-Matic like I did, man. Because I would open it, clean it up, and oil it, man. It was still jamming up. It was like, oh my goodness, guys. Like, it was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. Like, I paid $365 for it, and I sold it for $85. So, yeah, that tells you a lot, you guys. So, be aware when you're buying your firearms. Be aware, do some research, because I didn't do any research about it. I just went and bought it. So now, as you guys can see, like, I do my research on it and everything. But yeah, you guys, do your research on stuff, guys, because you never know if they're gonna work or not, or if they're gonna jam or they're gonna break. Like, you know, the 6-hour 365 that came out, everyone was so hyped, and firing pins were breaking here and there, and it was jamming, and things were just like, some guns are not made perfect when they come out of the factory. They think they mastered them, but they don't. That's why, like, SIG likes to come up with new models. Oh, the 6-hour Spectra Compra, and then all this 365 XL, and like, I don't know what's going on with certain companies, but nowadays it's just like, seems like they're experimenting on us people, you know. We spend our money on buying an experimental firearm that supposedly is gonna work, you know what I'm saying? So do your research before you guys buy a gun. And yeah, that's my little rant about buying my first dumb gun, the Mossberg 715 Tactical. Thank you guys for, oh, one more thing, and I was in California, so it only came with 10 rounds. And the magazines, well, they were nowhere to be available. Not even Big 5 sold them. So I was like, where the hell am I supposed to buy these magazines? But yeah, you guys, that's my rant. Thank you guys for watching. I'm American Mexican Gunslinger. Do your research when you're going to buy a gun. Make sure when they first come out, let all these other suckers test them out before you go and buy one. Because you never know, you might run into a lemon just like certain gun YouTubers end up getting, and they're like, oh man, they sent me this gun, and it's a lemon. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you around later. So you guys I'm gonna post up some pictures right now. It's gonna come up right now after I'm done talking. So you guys will see the pictures of what I did to this wonderful 22. You know, yeah, it was a piece of garbage. Don't buy it. Don't buy Mossberg 715Ts. Don't buy them. Do not buy them. They're just plastic shells within a 22 rifle, guys. Don't buy them. Sorry, Mossberg, but that gun really does suck. And this 15-round magazine seems to be working like a boss, guys.